I'm not offering my perspective as like a point that where you got to get to, or say that I'm an example of like what a balanced perspective in a real man even is, right? I'm just saying that you might not be able to ignore the fact any longer, because I couldn't understand why women get Botox. Uh, why do they want to purposely make themselves unattractive and plastic? You know, and it's not to the extent that you're, dressing for yourself as opposed to being sexy for a man, where you're doing this for, sometimes you get sexy and just to go out with the girls and have a night with the girls and no men, and you'll get sexy for that. And it's not because you're trying to attract the other women or anything like that. It's just because women are sexual creatures. So why do they get Botox? Why do they think that's beautiful? Because they're missing the facts on the ground, okay? The situation in the motherfucking safe room with the safe options, if you want to make a safe, educated bet coming from an educated mind, is still going to be that flaws are an aphrodisiac. It's not because you don't want to besmirch my opinion, or because you like me and you want to be nice and you want to just go on along and agree with me, because you might forget. You might miss that. Like, what does he mean that flaws are an I don't know if I subscribe to. It doesn't fucking matter. Flaws are. That's the facts. Flaws are still aphrodisiac. You ever wonder why you have a girlfriend or a friend, even a dude friend who goes for that woman that mistreats him, or that goes for that guy who's not focused on anything? With They got a bad boyfriend, okay? And they can get so much advice before they got to get away from them, because they can't keep coming around you after you done said this and that, and I think you should this and that, and leave them and everything. There's another direction you can go too, is out of a balanced personality, you can go into robotics, where everything is mechanical and astringent, and there's no love. It's really it's become threadbare. Then there's the other side, zombieism. Zombieism. It's like your mind has been taken over. You're on a one-track mind. You have a one tunnel vision. And robotics is about perfectionism, and it can bolster an addiction, because through perfectionism you're trying to reach some modicum of control. To be able to control something is tied in with the addiction. Zombieism is just going after chasing a feeling, and those are both addiction. You can't get out of addiction with willpower and logic. So it's appropriate to say the prayer of serenity in Alcoholic Anonymous and Narcotic Anonymous, but it's not appropriate is to talk about your mighty Redeemer, your spirit creature animals, and Jesus, Buddha, Sri Ramakrishna, and the Great Mother doesn't belong there. Because if through observance and and tied in with meaning for those things, then why are you in a recovery? And it's like through anything, man can make anything a religion. Anything. You can turn anything into a religion. And considering, see, that's the thing with the Bible, where they're, why, when is it relevant that to point out that it's written by men? It's not always relevant to point out that the Bible was written by a man, unless you're trying to speak to that point that which somebody saw something that they liked, and then they wanted to reorder and make some books inspired and some books not inspired, because they're also humans too. So you'd be like, yeah, so whoever collected this biblioteca, this library of different kinds of books, and tied it in with an agenda, and that's not even the part, because everybody has to have an agenda, but tied it in with an agenda that doesn't speak to the nature of each of these individual books. What kind of fucking book is it? Before I go deep into the significance and everything, I don't even know what kind of book it is. I don't even know what kind of book it is. Before we translate the meta-netter, what is a meta-netter? Like, what type of transcript? What kind of... Because there's different facets or different interfaces where you interface with multimedia. And mythology is just indicative of the kind of media that could preserve whatever kind of knowledge that civilization depended on a technology, the preservative medium for whatever knowledge is. It's not about what it means, it's about what it is for them. Because there was no cause. I don't know. I think I just described emptiness in form. So this is an opportunity to not say anything at all. But I'm saying because it's still like a trap. Like, would you like to elaborate? Fuck, I don't know if that's good for you. Are you supposed to? Like, aren't you supposed to stop when you make a point? Do you want to prove that you don't know anything at all? Because keep talking. Keep talking, you might. Or introduction of foreign memes, and also not toning down rhetoric. It's like not observing how people process in different ways. So that's just like another crazy person. It's like another wingnut. They all look like Jesus a little bit. The more crazier you get and schizophrenic you are, it seems like you look more like Jesus, or I don't know, maybe Judah. Either, but they look the same.